my list is Jason Ward. So is he okay? Here you are. Hello, Jason. So Jason worked at CERN in the 90s in the OPAL and ALEPH experiments at the LEP collider, the predecessor of LHC. It was the time I joined CERN also, around those years. He then worked in the hedge fund industry, and he's working today as an independent scientific advisor on data and artificial intelligence after a long path in this industry. So I'll let you share with us a little bit all this long experience, Jason.
Thank you very much. So hello from the UK. As you can see from the screen, my career arc is basically 3 chunks. It's 10 years in particle physics to begin with, then a switch to finance, and then a switch to data science and engineering. So 2 change points, and I feel a bit old, so I left CERN 20 years ago. But it's all underpinned by love of working with data. That's the common thread. And also one of the key messages I think that comes out of it is that this is a story about skills and the continual lifelong development of skills, because things are changing so fast. So the first change was in 2002, and data science was just not a thing at all. So I settled on finance prior to proceeding, which helped me scope the way forward. I contacted connections already in finance, and that helped me narrow things down a bit more. And then I prepared a bit by reading some of the standard textbooks, which also got me through interviews and helped demonstrating the commitment. And then it was through a recruitment agent that I finally got a job. So the outcome was that I ended up being a quant researcher in a hedge fund, and it was really founded on the general capability across data computing and maths and a cultural fit. So the second change point was 2016, where data science is a thing, but it was really the wild west of data science. It was the emergent moment. I decided to reorient myself to increase impact. And again, I decided in advance that it was going to be data science. I found that switch harder than I expected, but I was being selective and I had time. There's an issue there, I think, around language and how you address what you are now and align it with what you're trying to get into. I went through a wide variety of technical assessments, which was mutually revealing, and touched a wide variety of organisations and styles, so startups, consultancies, public sector and private sector. But the outcome there was that I joined an international consultancy called Valtech as a principal data scientist. And I spent a lot of time delivering projects into the UK public sector, for example, the Office of National Statistics, where I did some work on the way that GDP figures are productionized. So today I'm an independent consultant, and that's a bit of a byproduct of the pandemic. And data science and data engineering is certainly a thing now. I was drafted in to help with in the early part of the pandemic to build the data science function inside the new Joint Biosecurity Centre, which is now the UK Health Security Agency. And my way forward is highly likely staying in consultancy because of the variety of work, but a probable focus on healthcare. So challenges to a particle physicist, it's great to see these themes come up because they've already come up. There's something around sort of being in a small company versus a large collaboration, because that first change that I made was into a small company. Business decisions are made on far less than 5 standard deviations evidence, and that is a cultural change. And it's already been mentioned, but it's worth mentioning again. By and large, data science is modelling human behaviour, and rather than pursuing universal constants. And the relevance of the models that you build can change overnight. And my first experience of that was in the 2008 financial crash. And that colours the way you run models and productionise them. So the final point here is that I think this is as much about engineering and productionisation as it is about the data science. Yeah, how the CERN background has helped. So the spirit of collaboration, I really enjoy accessing the big problems in multidisciplinary teams, but that needs the collaborative spirit. I think that background of being in that international environment has been a brilliant upbringing. We've already discussed and mentioned the scientific process. Not everyone understands the scientific process, and you'll often be faced with having to drive that. You might be the flag bearer of the scientific process. I spent my 10 years in physics doing measurements, 5 or 6 of them measuring the mass of the W. So for me, error, uncertainty, and bias are second nature, but absolutely not for everyone. There's a link to a blog post there that expands on that a bit. And the other key thing about the CERN background is the way it helps re-engage with today's students and also with pre-university STEM engagement, because one of the issues is the skills in the pipeline. So anything that we can all do to support that is really helpful. So just finishing off some talking points that I think will come later on. What I look for when I look at a CV, some points about getting yourself out there, which we'll come back to. When I've written data science or data science, it touches on what we're already discussing, is what is data science. And back to the engineering and that discussion, I think there's a dearth of engineering skill, and this is a key area. So that's all from me for now. Thank you.
Great timekeeping.
Yes, great. Thank you, Jason. So you gave very useful points at the end that will follow up on the questions, and you also answered the question indirectly, which is which skills did you acquire at CERN that you think were useful for the transition? So I think you dedicated a full slide on that, and I think I can only agree on all the points you raised, collaboration, problem solving. Yeah, I'll keep it just in case other panelists have an additional point.